In this episode, Golden and I discuss Encanto. Full speed ahead.
The Omega Beam. Full power. The Omega Beam.
Welcome to the Omega Beam number 176. I'm your host, Orren Merton. We've got a short one for you this time, our thoughts on the Disney Pixar musical Encanto, which is available to stream on Disney+. Now we start spoiler-free, then get into spoilers like we do on our longer episodes, but here is a little bit of a spoiler for you already. We recorded this conversation when I had my nasty cold, so I apologize in advance for how nasal I sound. Okay, let's go.
I am here with Golden to talk about Encanto, Disney's latest animated blockbuster, which we saw on Disney+. And what did you think?
I thought it was very good. I mean, I think that if we spoke Spanish, fluent in Spanish, that it would have had a lot more meaning. But working in a predominantly Hispanic area, I hear a lot of Spanish. And when the movie came out, I was hearing a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people just continuously singing the songs and the kids wanting to go back and sing the songs and watch the songs, and online seeing a lot of people that are more familiar with the culture that it was trying to, share with us. It really was very meaningful.
Yeah, I have to say that I love the fact that Disney and Pixar have, as of late, branched out into movies that do involve other cultures than simply sort of Western Europe, America, etc.
Even though the culture of the students that I teach may be different than a teenager in Colombia, it still spoke to them.
Family is family, and I think the family dynamic here, it is both universal and specific to the culture that they're talking about, which made it so good. And I have to say, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, a family that all has magic powers. Well, that's kind of in my wheelhouse because of the magic powers. I'm not super into musicals though, so okay. But having seen it, I gotta say, some of those songs really are kind of catchy. And not just, we don't talk about Bruno. I really loved the Strong Sister song.
Luisa's?
Yeah, that song really moved me lyrically.
I think that was one of the ones that I enjoyed the most too.
Yeah. I mean, lyrically, I thought it was moving, but
Speaking
also...
of which, did you see how people are online are criticizing how She-Hulk does not look very muscular compared to Luisa?
Oh.
They're saying, but we finally got a woman who can have muscles, and we're okay with that, and it's great. And then She-Hulk looks skinny again. And I know it's because She-Hulk's based on a specific version of the comic, but it was still, Encanto was brought up with regards to She-Hulk.
That's right. Well, it's all part of the Disney family. But I have to say, I think it was well done. I think even as someone who is not brought up in that culture, the basic idea that you are dealing with a woman who feels like the odd woman out in her family.
And both of us were only children growing up.
Yes.
Anytime I was around my family growing up, I always kind of felt like the odd person out.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't have it as direct siblings.
Yeah. So this is very universal, even as it is, beautifully specific. And for those of us who are not from and don't know much about Colombian culture, just the colors, the foods, and the dances, it's all so rich and so beautiful. And you can tell that it was done with a lot of respect and a lot of love by people who were incredibly, devoted to getting it right. I know that a lot of the songs were by
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes. And obviously
a lot of the songs in Moana were very catchy too.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, spoilers. There we go. The fact that her cousin, just felt like her uncle.
Uh-huh.
Her uncle felt like everyone just always thought that everything he said was bad. He just started hiding in the walls.
Oh, good old Bruno hiding in the wall.
Yeah, I mean, they don't talk about Bruno because every single thing that he said, they always took as a negative or an omen and
killing the messenger.
Yeah, and one of them already knows he's hiding in the walls because she hears everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we don't like when people say things that we don't want to hear, even though if it is true. And the fact that you have grandma thinks everything's beautiful. She thinks everything's perfect. Doesn't want to see fault in anything. And her not seeing fault in those things in itself is a lot of what's wrong. Because Louisa thinks that she has to be perfect. She has to move everything. That her strength is who she is. And you have her sister who, the flowers have to be beautiful. They have to be pretty. Oh my gosh, I made a cactus. Look at this. This is so refreshing. This is new. I can do something that's not just flowery and beautiful.
Right.
It's taking someone without powers to make them all realize that they can be themselves. They don't have to live up to an ideal.
Right. And by the end, Grandma does realize she's the problem.
Yes.
She's so terrified of losing power, of the family losing the gift, that she doesn't let them live. And finally, at the end, she does. She lets everybody live. And it's kind of implied at the end that the powerless one does have power of a sort because she puts on the glasses and is able to open the door with everyone else. So yeah, it was very sweet. A lot, obviously these are designed to have positive messages and to end happily ever after. And this one does, but it does in a way that feels very earned.
I like the IMDb trivia. So this one's fun. Bruno was originally named Oscar.
Interesting.
But it was changed because Bruno, no.
Right.
It's better. And also apparently there were just so many real life Oscar Madrigal that there may have been issues.
That's funny. That is funny. Huh. Yeah, definitely. We don't talk about Oscar. Doesn't have quite the ring to it.
Madrigal is a song in which several people sing overlapping melodies. Which is interesting. Yeah, that's another IMDb trivia. That's interesting because I'm not familiar with a whole bunch of musical terms.
Excellent. So yeah, if you were on the fence, if this is worth watching, I mean, first of all, it's done with all of the polish and the care that Disney has been doing animation since literally the day. And this is a wonderful inclusion into that great canon. But certainly it is one that is worth seeing and is very interesting.
And she is alone. I mean, you look at a lot of other Disney characters, they all have sidekicks.
Right.
And she doesn't. And I think that works really well in this movie because here is someone who feels like she's out of place, that she is alone. If you actually put in a sidekick, then it wouldn't have had the same impact.
Yeah, very true. Well, thank you, Golden.
You're welcome.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/176. If you liked this episode, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Your reviews help people who like this stuff find our podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.
The Omega Beam. The Omega Beam. Full stop.